try and get our arms around it, because really after that, if we hadn't, it was going to dissolve into what other leagues were in the area. So we were able to get insurance, get coaches, get a GM over it, and take over the program. So that's why it's called Warriors. It's actually fantastic for us, because if you look at these teams, the youth teams and the kids that go and play travel, they change every year. So having kids that, you know, may be mildly interested and don't want to take a plunge to do travel, to be able to give them a chance to dabble in it and then move right into travel if they want, or kids that don't, to be able to move out and still stay interested in the sport, is good for us. So we've taken it over. Same price. A couple things that'll be different. We'll have John Larson, who is there, he's right there. He's going to be GMing at all the practices and all the games. So what that means is, and I'm going to get into a couple of league changes, but what that means is we're going to have somebody at the field at all times overseeing what's going on with all the coaches there. Excuse me. In addition to that, we'll have paid coaches at each level. Okay, so it's not going to just be the volunteer dad who might want to play his own son or do whatever. You know, we're going to have some structure to it. And paid coaches, like I said, at each level answer to Warriors. They won't, you know, I don't think at any level we have a parent coach in the spring. They're parent helpers, which we encourage and love. But, you know, our philosophy for spring play, and if you were to ever see anything different to that, we want to know it is, we want all the kids to play equal playing time, and we want them to develop. So we're going to ask them to play different positions, because, you know, we get this at U13 where I'm an attackman. You know, I'm going to be an attackman. Everybody wants to score a goal, whatever it is they think it is. We're going to force them to mix it up and play a couple different positions so they can find out what it is they really want to play. So it is equal playing time, it's developmental, and that's the purpose of it. We really want them at the end of the year to have a little better understanding of the sport, a solid understanding of fundamentals at each level. We'll just keep reinforcing it. And most importantly, we want them to come back and play again the following year. Has everybody in here now had a son play in the league or play lacrosse at all, or is everybody brand new to it? Everybody brand new, or most people brand new, or played? Played? Okay. Good. Perfect. All right, I'm going to jump into this. We switched leagues this year. Last year, we were crushing everybody in that we played, and it's just not a good environment, okay? It's not good for the teams you're playing against. Our kids wouldn't get any better. It's just not a good combination. And when my son was playing, when we first started, we played in this league, and to tell you the truth, I don't know what happened or how we wound up outside of it, but we did. So these are the teams that we compete with the most in high school. When I say compete, these are the most challenging teams we play in high school, or among some of them. So playing at the youth level is going to be good for us. So we've just, as a result of it, we took over the league, and that was one of the things we wanted to do, is get back in this league. They accepted us back into the league, so we'll be playing these teams. Our home games will be here at the stadium, and our away games will obviously be at these stadiums. So there's a little more traveling, but not really. I mean, most of these, Evanston's going to probably be the furthest travel game, but that's about it. Like I said, home games will be here at the stadium. So all in all, we just think a better environment. Now, for those of you who have friends that are talking, we put things out in the virtual backpack, and we know from history about the number we get. But it's important, if you have friends that are thinking about signing up and wanting to play, that they do it quickly, because we need to commit and pay the league at each level for how many teams we have. And if we get to a point where we don't think we can stretch it to 2 teams, we're going to shut down that team and go with 1 team. And we don't want kids getting locked out that want to play. So if you have friends, tell them about it. These are the stadium locations. Like I said, some are a little further, but all in all, depending on where we were traveling last year, not much. It shouldn't be a big deal. Practice is at Canterbury. The days of practice will be announced, but they're going to more than likely be Monday, but the days between Monday through Thursday, and depending on age, how many days we have, it won't be any more than 2 days a week. In the beginning of the season, we'll probably start March 16th, I think is that Monday, whatever that week is there, and then we realize spring break comes up. We'll probably have some type of practice for the kids that are here that want to practice, but we'll acknowledge the fact that spring break's going on, so there won't be a mandatory practice. The first games of the season will start March, what was it, I just got out of my seminar. I think it's the 3rd week of March is the first game, so we want to get a week.
23rd.
Yeah, so we want to get a week, at least a week under our belt.
That's the first Sunday of spring break.
Then it's before, that's what they're teetering on. Actually, the league emailed us and said, because it's the beginning of spring break, they're going to try and do a doubleheader the following weekend and catch it up. So, yeah, if they do that, that's great, but the message for you is we're conscious of spring break and what's going on here. Those are the biggest things on spring, but I do want to, because it's new, I want to open it up to questions and just, I'll give you a little history of the program. The Warriors program, we started, a few parents, myself, started it with the idea that if we could get quality caliber coaches and we kept a group of boys playing together consistently through their youth league, that they just fundamentally develop better. Okay, we felt like if they got comfortable with the kids they were playing with, we would deliver a better product to the high school by the time they reached that age. And also it would give kids who weren't sure, because I get it, this isn't, you know, some of the sports the kids have to commit their life to this or else they're never going to be able to play it in college or whatever the story is that they're given by some coach. Not true with lacrosse. We've watched these kids our weakest players at U11 are some of our strongest players on the high school team today. And it's because, quite frankly, their bodies develop, their athleticism changes, their desire to do, everything changes. And what we really want to do is keep them interested and engaged at an affordable level too, because we haven't been for profit, then we've been able to make it affordable and keep them interested and engaged as many kids as we can through these years of U11 until they hit high school. In high school, the commitment does change a little bit. It gets a little more serious. And then if they want to, they try out for the summer teams. The summer tryouts are conducted by an outside group. We have Lacrosse America coaches not affiliated with the program come in and do it. I don't touch it, we don't touch it. I don't want it to turn into this incestual thing that baseball seems to become, where there are all these little fragmented organizations and, you know, Johnny's dad's coaching, so Johnny's going to play on this team no matter what. So understand we're conscious of that too. Questions? Any questions? I mean, it's new. We're glad you're here.
We got numbers. I mean, like, what do you have for numbers right now?
We'll probably have about the same. I mean, I think we have 15 and 30. By the way, we don't have any of every kid who plays Warriors right now is a spring player too. And I don't think, hardly any of them are signed up. It's kind of, plumbers always got the leaky faucet.
Yeah, I think last year we had, there were 7 teams. And this year, it'll probably be between 5 and 7, depending upon what the turnout and the signups are.
Yeah, I was just curious, how many did you have right now? U15,
U11 is about 15, U13 is 35, U15 is 25, JV, between JV and varsity is 40 to 50.
Yeah, it's close to 50.
It's about 135
That's
for
non-travel.
No, that's including travel.
That's including travel.
Yeah, because understand the spring is everybody.
Yeah.
Spring is everybody. They're all together. If we, depending on the size of the teams for spring, we'll split them evenly. We'll do whatever's best for the entire group. So if we get a number of kids where, you know, the balance is that we integrate the more skilled players in with the less skilled players, we're going to do that. We're going to develop them all. If it's better to have a team that we can just focus on with double down on the coaches and develop, we've got enough to do that and enough to create another team, we'll do that too. But it depends on what we pan out with.
Shooting for about 18.
Yeah, you know, with the younger,
team.
yeah, with the younger
17,
kids,
18.
really with the U11s, you can get in 15's fine.
15's
Because they all play every day.
Yeah, you can live it.
Right, the other kids, 18's kind of an optimal number, but I will tell you this, we try and take 20 or 22 because you'll lose 1 or 2 to some injury, you'll lose 1 or 2 every weekend at conflicts. So we don't like them to be so short that they can't play a game. You really need 15 kids. I mean, really, at a minimum, you can have 13.
Like 6-4-4.
Right, so that's about it. More questions? I mean, any questions, fair game. And it's a new program, and I know the Warriors has kind of been this travel thing, and now it's the house leg. I want everybody to feel comfortable that we're treating it with the same professionalism, and we took it over by choice. It was not, you know, it was to make sure that we kept it going in the community.